Time to do my project. What do you think? What do you think? Do dogs dream? Okay, well, REM sleep is commonly known to be when dreams happen, and animals have REM sleep, therefore animals can dream. But you can have REM sleep without dreams, and I didn't know this before research, but you can have dreams without REM sleep. The only other answers are based on circumstantial evidence. The evidence both for and against is not great, so I don't care about the debate. I want to know what dogs dream about, so I have to assume that they do. Let's start with the senses. When we humans dream, we rarely experience all the senses. Have you noticed this? Smell and taste are almost always absent. I myself remember dreams where I'm about to eat and then the food just sort of disappears in my mouth and then I wake up. Meanwhile, sight and sound, being as important as they are nearly universal in the world of dreams. Now let's look at the senses of dogs. I found this article on dog MRI that's like brain scans and stuff that shows the brain activity. I wanted to see how senses affect their brains differently while awake or sleeping. Visual stimuli have a strong reaction in both sleeping and awake dogs, while olfactory stimulus, that's smell, triggers some regions of the brain directly related to smell, but when they're asleep, not in the frontal cortex where it's processed. When they're awake, the frontal cortex does light up in reaction to smell stimulus. So dogs smell in their dreams far less often than they see in them, just like we do. Or rather, I can surmise, because they process all the smells differently, that dogs are probably less likely to experience all their senses in dreams, similarly to us. Remember, I don't have much of anything official to go off here. I'm just a curious researching Dead King of Hyrule with Google Scholar. I almost stopped there, but I'm glad I didn't, because I found some cool stuff that is really fun to know. And because I got more potential answers to this question. Remember that sleep can happen in and outside of REM sleep? This one study asked a bunch of people who just woke up and described, I promise this is going somewhere, they asked them to describe their dreams, and then they ran those reports through a program to evaluate how connected and cohesive they were as narratives. Now here's where it's going. The characteristics of these dream narratives are different depending on what sleep stage they are within. Dreams during REM sleep focus on negative, self-initiated interactions, while non-REM dreams focus on positive ones. And further differentiating them, REM dreams are the well-known, wacky, nearly hallucinatory ones, while non-REM dreams are more grounded. However, the program evaluating these reports, this is really cool, kind of swapped them. The more incoherent type of dream, REM dreams, they were more cohesive as a reported narrative, while the grounded, non-REM dreams were less narrative-like, less connected. And the cool part is all of this information makes sense because these reports were based on human memory. The REM dreams were more connected because they were more memorable. They're like immersive stories with fun set pieces. While non-REM dreams are sometimes described as thought-like, they're samey, disconnected, and difficult to organize. Now, does this apply to dogs? I don't know. I can infer, though, that because most mammalian species share the same sleep states, most mammalian species probably share the same rules for how their dreams work, if they have them. Now, in my research, I almost fell into the trap of looking for similarities between dogs and humans, and then applying information that I knew about human dreaming to dogs, which led to a conclusion that their dreams are surprisingly similar to our own. But not only might that conclusion be faulty, it's kind of boring. I want to know what's different between dogs and humans. So I looked it up, and dogs actually do have unique sleep characteristics. Not just unique to humans, but unique to other canines. They're diurnal. They take naps during the day, but most of their sleep actually comes from the night, which is unlike the rest of their family, unlike canines, more like humans, who maybe because they domesticated them. You, us, me. On the other hand, their circadian regulation is more malleable than that of humans, by which I mean they gain the growth benefits of sleep that we do for free. They only gain it after sleep deprivation and sleep pressure. They're adapted to be flexible in the timing of their sleep, which the varying shift timings of police dogs has actually already demonstrated. These adaptations are likely due to sociality and domestication by humans. What about more of the sociality? Okay, according to the previous MRI study, their social cue processing is quite sophisticated. They have different functions for detecting the meanings of individual words, their intonation, how natural speech is, and how familiar the language is. The language is. On top of also a facial recognition function. Furthermore, more familiar stuff, anywhere from faces to smells to sounds, all of it activates stronger emotional and reward responses. They're social creatures. So perhaps their dreams are social. But I want to know what shows up in their dreams. Oh, of course, we're social creatures. What shows up in our dreams? Is it stuff from real life? Modern real life concerns? Yes. In the pandemic of 2020, I found a study again. Of course, people's nightmares were still nightmares, but with new quarantine-colored coats of paint, which you might have noticed yourself. The study that reported this actually brought to my attention another question: the purpose of dreams. Their findings that dream content adapts to the real world. Those findings support certain previous hypotheses on the function of dreams. In this case, one of them is that dreams reactivate emotional memories to reinforce learning or to accept some emotional change. And the other is that dreams are supposed to place fear and other emotions into context to prepare for potential future threats or just to process the emotion. The acoustics suck in here, whatever. Dream content adapting based on real life might be because the dreams are there to help people adapt to real life. Now let's compare humans to dogs, because this information may not even apply to them. We gotta think about it before we just willy-nilly decide that dogs are humans. Humans are a species evolutionarily adapted to depend on creating new technologies to adapt in the short term more quickly than evolution can, which has led to us ruining the planet and being able to eat McDonald's or play Minecraft. If the purpose of dreaming is to assist in quick adaptation, it could have come about somewhere between humans and other apes. If dreams did already exist, their traits and purpose might have changed substantially somewhere between humans and other apes. I mean, I couldn't know for sure that the function of dreams is the same between species, even if I knew dreams did exist between species. But I can say that dogs are quite an adaptable and social species like humans too. Their sleep timing is flexible, they evolved alongside domestication by humans. Who's to say that the dreams of dogs don't also help them adapt to emotional and social changes? I mean, yet again, who's to say what specific changes dreams are intended to help with? How would I provide two possibilities? One, dreams exist in dogs to help adapt to social and emotional changes and threats. Or two, dreams exist in dogs to help adapt to and prepare for the potential survival situations and threats. That study about how dream content changes focused specifically on nightmares, so I got another source. The most important piece of insight from this source, which I probably could have guessed myself, is that the vast majority of dreams are focused on everyday concerns, sometimes positive and grounded during non-REM sleep, and sometimes negative and even somewhat surreal during REM sleep. But I didn't need a source on what the social everyday concerns of a dog are. I have 4 of them. I could shed light on that myself. The newest of them is young enough that she still plays with toys all the time and still barks at everything in her way. When I give my attention to her, an older dog who also likes to play comes down and gets jealous of my attention and wants me to play with him instead. I would say that of the social concerns of a dog, the attention that humans give them would be the biggest one. That and barking at anything that walks by the house. I don't know why they do that. Which means that their dreams, based on positive interactions, which remember is a characteristic of dreaming outside of REM sleep, those might include playing with people or other dogs, their people coming home, or loudly greeting new pedestrians. While their more negative dreams might be being separated from their people for long periods of time, or other dogs being favored over themselves, or loudly fending off new pedestrians. In the other case, for more physical common concerns, we humans have a few long-established common nightmares that involve falling or being chased, survival situations common to all animals. A dog might have the same nightmares. The more lighthearted, maybe non-REM dreams of dogs would include everyday physical activities such as exploring outside on a walk, maybe marking their territory, maybe in a REM dream even breaking off the leash and exploring outside alone. Of course, the in-between, between possibility 1 and 2, is most likely. And I mean dreams involving social interactions and characters, and dreams involving physical activities. Both take place. Sometimes a dream is both, sometimes a dream is just sometimes the dream is just one or the other. Life and survival include both situations too. So I've come to a set of conclusions that logically make sense, And I didn't even consider that plenty of dreams aren't everyday common concerns. And I didn't even consider symbolism within dreams, like teeth representing power. But that's the thing with research. You don't have to consider every possibility. You don't have to make it perfect. You can just go online, look things up, learn some fun information, and if you really want to, share your findings, not maybe report them as conclusive, but not as completely inconclusive either, and anyone else can come along and add to them. Just Google Scholar is enough. I didn't even use any new AI tools that you could...
A job well done. What do you think?
Oh, cats.